How's it going, everybody? JP here, and by now you could probably tell that there's something a little bit different going on, and I'm actually unable to record video right now, which I apologize for. I figured I didn't really want to skip the series altogether, so I decided to just do the audio. I guess it's better than nothing. I apologize. Hopefully it won't be like this next week, but it's a possibility it will be. But for sure after that, I won't. It'll be back to the regular video format. So yeah, I apologize. Hopefully this isn't too bad. I'll try to keep these ones shorter. But anyway, let's get into the episode. Bates Motel, episode number 8, and it's titled A Boy and His Dog. This episode, not a whole lot happened. It was kind of a filler episode a bit. But it is kind of setting up the story arc for the final episodes, which there's only two left, which kind of surprised me a bit. I thought it was going to be a 12 episode run, but I guess it's only 10. So we'll see what happens in the next two episodes. They already announced that they're bringing back a second season, so that's good that the show's gonna continue. But anyway, this one opens up. Norman Bates's dog was ran over, so he takes it to his friend Emma's dad, who is a taxidermist, and he basically wants to get his dog stuffed. And as he's there, you could kind of tell that he's kind of enjoying the process. He's asking the Emma's dad a lot about it, and he's not creeped out or anything by hearing how it works. I would assume that most people would be a little bit freaked out when their dog gets killed and they're hearing, a bit of the process about how the taxidermy is gonna work. So Emma's dad, seeing that Norman's a bit into it, invites him to come spend some time after school and whatnot, to learn about it a bit. And Norman's definitely down for that, which I definitely enjoy that they're bringing back the taxidermy thing, from the original series. I'm so glad that they're throwing that in there. Me being a huge fan of the original series, anything like that is welcome. Um, After that, you have Emma in school, in the bathroom, not feeling too well, and she hears some other girls walk in, and they're basically talking about how Norman is weird and how Bradley's nice to him, and she probably looks at him like a pet, and how Bradley would never do anything with Norman. And Emma gets a little bit pissed off, and she comes out and says, actually, yeah, Bradley did have sex with Norman, um, and kind of shuts the girls up a bit. After that, Dylan's kind of still beefing with that new partner that he has, which he's kind of the boss of, and the dude's a little bit, pissed off about that, and he's kind of being a douchebag to Dylan a bit. Dylan's trying to figure it out. Anyway, they're having to go somewhere and pick up a group of people to come down and trim up the plants or whatever. Um, After that, Bradley kind of confronts Norman about why everybody's saying that they had sex or whatever, and she's saying it shouldn't have happened and blah blah. So Norman gets a bit mad. He goes out of the school, and the teacher tries to stop him. You can't just leave school and stuff. He gets kind of violent and walks away. Not really violent, but she goes to like grab it, like grab him, and he like throws his hands up, all like pissed off. Um, After that, Norma actually has some. This is probably the most least filler stuff in the episode. Norma is having trouble with the man in the room number 9, and she's basically trying to figure out about this weird guy. And she takes some towels into his room or whatever, or goes in his room to clean a bit, and he's being pretty weird, asking questions. He's just a very strange, creepy, eerie guy. And he asks her about Shelby, and it kind of gets weird. She gets a little bit weirded out and says that she has to leave and go pick up her son or take her son somewhere. But he's like, "Your son's actually left, didn't he? He's at school." So, the guy's definitely he observes pretty much everything going on around him, and he's a creepy dude. After that, Norma goes and sees the sheriff about being put on a committee or something because there's a road that's going to go through the town that'll basically take all the business away from the hotel, which I like that too because that was a big that was a part of the original Psycho series. You know, the highway basically took away all the customers and stuff, so I like that. The sheriff gets kind of why should I help you? We don't, there's nothing, like, we're not friends, we're this, blah, blah. And Norma kind of looks a bit offended, and the sheriff kind of looks a bit offended, so there was a weird thing there. After that, the school tells Norma that Norman's kind of has a weird behavior and probably needs to see a therapist or something, which she says I would rather have him go to, a private one instead of the school's guidance counselor or whatever. Later it shows Dylan and the dude, uh, the his new partner. I forget his name, but they're at a bar or something. They get into a fight over something, and Dylan actually asks the dude, like, if you hate your job so much, nobody respects you, why don't you quit? And the guy's like, there is no quitting this job. So it's kind of like a blood in, blood out thing, which Dylan probably kind of noticed that a bit. After that, Norma kind of goes and talks to Dylan's, not Dylan, Emma's dad about how, maybe taxidermy will make Norman look like a freak or a weirdo. He kind of, you know, says, taxidermy, you're not a weirdo for liking taxidermy, and even though a lot of people don't do it, same thing with poetry, not a lot of people do it, but the world still needs it, blah, blah. Um, After that, what happened? Norma actually kind of follows the man in number nine to the boat of Deputy Shelby, and he notices her and he confronts her and asks her, says he knows more um, about everything, he knows about her and Shelby. He says he's not dumb, like he's not an idiot like Keith Summers, and he's on the top tier or the top rung or whatever. So he's definitely part of this whole thing that was going on. Um, then there was kind of a funny scene at the therapist with Norma and Norman. Every time the guy would ask Norman a question, Norma would answer it. I thought that was kind of funny. Um, Dylan kind of they after they pick up those group of people in the van that are gonna help with the pot fields, the ones like uh, kind of talking shit, and then Dylan kind of kicks him out. Kind of takes charge and stuff, and you could tell that maybe his partner and enjoyed seeing that come out of Dylan. Um, and finally, Norma attempts to kick the guy from number nine out of the motel, which she thinks she's successful. Um, and Dylan brings all those people back to the motel and, basically puts some business into the motel with new guests. And Norma's pretty happy with that and asks Dylan to go to dinner with her. So I always enjoy seeing Norma and Dylan get along for some reason. It doesn't happen often, but it almost feels like you want them to get along. So it's nice to see that every once in a while. As Norma goes upstairs to change, she finds Deputy Shelby's dead body after it's been, through its autopsy and stuff, obviously dead in her bed, and she screams, and that's where the episode ended, which I very, very much like that. Just because it shows more of the horror side of the show and more of the dark stuff. And this episode was, mostly like filler stuff and like setting up storylines. Not very much stuff happened, but that was a big thing, and I definitely enjoyed that. So, um, that was a great ending to this episode. Anyway, that's about it, guys. The show is kind of winding down a bit. It'll probably pick up during these last two episodes, and exciting stuff will happen. I definitely am enjoying this show. I do think it could be better in certain ways, and but I do like it, and it's definitely something that I look forward to every week. So. That's about it. This video went on pretty long again. I apologize for not being able to record video right now, but I guess it's better than nothing. So I'll check you guys later and peace.